So another thing I want to see you do too is I want to see you use a little bit more bait and punish. Which have you heard of that?
Okay.
Have you heard that term before?
They use that with like dash dancing, I think. Like where you just
Basically,
bait your.
so baiting me. So let's just get into the game for a second, and I'll show you what I mean. You're not
Mhm.
wrong though. So bait and punish can be a multitude of different things. It doesn't have to necessarily just be dashing in and out. It could be walking. It could be crouching. It could be dashing up and flickering your shield. It could be going for empty hops, right? It could be all kinds of things. And what you're trying to do
Mhm.
essentially is get into your opponent's threat zone. So basically, if I believe that you can hit me with a forward tilt, I want to try and get into this range and out of this range to make you believe that you could hit me. And if you happen to miss, then I go in and hit you with
Um.
something else, right? I'm not necessarily
Okay.
always trying to get like this close to you, but let's say for example, if you're
Yeah.
dashing towards me, instead of me swinging right
Mm.
here and trying to beat out whatever you're trying to do, I can also dash
Yeah.
away to here, right? So if you go like
Mm.
this and try and hit me, I'm out of the way, and then I get to hit you, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
basically, to put it very simply, when you're trying to fight me, every single time that you approach does not also mean that you have to try and throw out an attack at the same time,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Approaching just means
Mhm.
getting close. That's all approaching is.
Okay.
Approaching does not also mean doing this and swinging as you get close, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Alrighty.
And that'll be part of like mixing things up because if I always try to attack, I guess it's too predictable
Yeah,
and
it
they get
becomes very
punished. Then.
predictable. Like let's say for example, if you're standing right there, let's just
Uh-huh.
say if I would have no mix up whatsoever, I just run at you and I go like that. That's my approach
Uh-huh.
and that's my whole setup, just running at you, right?
Yeah.
But the mix
Yeah.
up could be like let's say running in, then running back out, and then running in again. Or running
Mhm.
in, like let's say I run in and then jump back and then run in, right? Or I run in, then
Okay.
I stop and then I get close like that. Right.
Okay.
This is like mixing up the timing and trying to throw off your
Yeah.
opponent's rhythm. So they can't say, okay, when he gets to a certain range, I can just shield or I can just dash out of the way and go like this. And then just punish me for
Okay.
just being very one dimensional.
Yeah. How do I get better with that? I feel like sometimes I just autopilot and then I guess I just become like really predictable. I don't know. I feel like at some point I'd stop mixing up things and just become like really one dimensional.
I would
That's where I get
say,
like punished the hardest.
so what I would say you want to do is keep in mind that you're fighting another human, right?
Hmm.
If you keep that in mind, it's not hard to mix somebody up if you're consciously trying to mix them up. If you treat it like you're just trying to beat my frame data or just be faster than my character as a whole, or you're trying to gimmick me, then that's when you're probably going to lose because you think, okay, well, I have more range and my character is stronger, therefore I can just go in and do whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
clearly is not the case. Otherwise, characters like, I don't know, Bowser, for example, or Donkey Kong would be considered really, really good characters because they wouldn't have to care about anything. Just run in and do what they want, right?
Right.
But
Okay.
but you don't get to
Yeah.
impose your will like that against somebody who's not going to just turtle or run away from you for free, right? If you just ran
Yeah.
at me, like here's the thing: if you just ran at me and I ran away from you and did nothing, and I went over here and like just shielded or whatever, then yeah, you can come in and you don't really have to have a lot of mix-ups because I'm basically letting you do whatever you want. And if you happen to make a
Hmm.
mistake, I'm not going to punish you. I'm just going to run, right?
Hmm.
So if you
Yeah.
treat it like, I'm trying to think of like a game, even like, do you ever play? Have you ever played any sports like soccer, football, basketball, anything like
Uh.
that?
No. Yeah. I haven't really played any sports.
Okay. Trying to think what else. I guess even from the perspective of sports, I'm sure you've seen sports, you've watched sports, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say something
Yeah.
like basketball or football. Let's say if you're the defender and I'm trying to get past you, right? Let's say I want to go over
Hmm.
here. Even in the case of Smash, maybe I don't want to be actually over here, but let's just say for the sake of example, right? Let's just say you're right
Hmm.
here, right? If I want to get
Hmm.
past you,
Hmm.
there's a couple things I could try and do. I could try and run in, and then if you try to attack me, I can like roll past your attack, right? I could try and jump over the
Yeah.
top of you, or I could like try and get close to you and see if you try and jump over me. Maybe you try and call out my high jump like this, in which case, if you do happen to
Hmm.
jump, I can run underneath you,
Yeah.
right? But the only reason why any of that would work is because of two things. Number one, you're a human being. That's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
There's actually a potential for you to try and predict something and be wrong, right? If you're a
Hmm.
computer, then you'll never be wrong, right?
Yeah.
But since you're a human being, I can mix you up like that. The other part is reaction
Hmm.
time, right? The fact that I have to
Hmm.
react, or sorry, you have to react to me and say, okay, maybe he's going to jump, and I'm going to try and predict this and react to when he gets to a certain point, and I'm going to just go ahead and jump and throw out an attack. So if I jump with you,
Hmm.
I'm going to get hit, right?
Hmm.
So if those two components are a part of every single game, you should be treating the fact that when you want to approach me, that it shouldn't be as simple as to say, well, he's just going to do nothing. So I'm going to just run at him and go like this because I want to, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm going to move out of the way. I'm going to pay attention to what your objective is, and your objective is to try and hit me. My objective is to try and not get hit, right? As far as if we're playing in the role of you're the attacker and I'm the defender in that case, right? So if you're trying to approach someone and mix up your, I guess, delivery or mix up your approach or try and be more unpredictable, think about the fact that you can try and throw somebody off by having them react to something incorrectly or too slowly or with the wrong move entirely, right? I'll say one of the best examples of a bait is when someone jumps in front of your shield like that. And it sounds hilarious to think, but like, let's say, so jump in front of my shield and then jump again. So like do a double jump, right?
Oh, like.
Yeah, so right before you touch the ground, jump like that, right? And the reason why that works is because, let's say, for example, so when you go like this, right? Right before you touch the ground, jump again like that.
Okay.
Like that.
Like that.
And the reason why that works, do it again. A lot of players will try and grab like that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
Because what they're expecting, hold your shield for a second. What people are expecting is this, in which case, once I landed on your shield, you can get a grab. So hold your shield again. So if someone goes like this and you try and grab them as I jump back up, then you're wide open and I get a chance to hit you, right? The other reason why that works is because of reaction time, right? You can't react to the fact that I didn't land. You can only anticipate that I actually am going to land. So if you think I'm going to land, you throw out that grab immediately, right?
Yeah.
If you think I'm going to jump like this, then you stay in shield. In which case, if you think that I am going to jump like this and you stay in shield, but I actually don't, I could do this.
Yeah.
Right? And it's unreactable once again. Right. So you can definitely use that to your advantage in every single interaction within the entire game. Right?
So it comes down to prediction and reaction time.
Yep. Prediction, reaction time, and human error. The fact, like the biggest part for sure, like I mentioned at the beginning, is that you're fighting another human being who is going to do things not frame perfect, right? And they're also potentially going to do the wrong thing. You have the ability to mix them up, right? Yeah, this was like a binary code or like a computer or an amiibo in some cases. You literally can't beat them. It's impossible in some cases, right? Because no matter what you do, they read your input on the same frame and they just do the perfect counter every single time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It's pain.
Yeah.
Have you ever played any shooting games like Warzone or Apex or Fortnite or anything like that?
Not really big on FPS, but I think the last thing I played a long time ago was like Call of Duty Black Ops. But...
Okay, well I guess the better question is, have you ever seen somebody hack in that game?
Oh, with the aimbots? Yeah. Where it's like...
So if someone has aimbot, for example, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing or how good you are. If you poke your head out anywhere, they will turn and kill you immediately.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a computer doing that. No person on Earth is that good. Right? So the ability to throw somebody off or have a mix-up or manipulate anything against a computer, like in a situation like that, doesn't matter if you're the best player in the world versus someone who's hacking, you're going to lose. Right?
Yeah.
So from the perspective of, let's say, if you were trying to play against me as if I was a computer, you're going to try and manipulate the situation so that maybe I have a malfunction of some sort, which is basically never going to happen. Right? So you might just start doing random things and say, hopefully this just works for no reason. Right? But against an actual player, you can actually control your situation and say, I don't have to try and do random things. I can jump in with a reason. I can jump in to say, oh, every time that they get close to me, they jump. Let's say every time I get close to you, I jump and come down like this, right? I jump and go like that. So if I do this, what you could do to beat that is you could run in and up tilt me, or you could do a rising aerial, right? If I go like this, from the bottom of my jump up to the apex and then almost halfway down, there's no hitbox, right? I'm just learning how to attack at the end. So if I'm just jumping in front of you like that, you can just jump at the top of my jump and hit me.
Right. Okay.
That would be a mix-up to how, let's say if I'm doing this, and the reason why this is working is, let's say every single time I go like this, you're also doing this, right? Something like this. And you're a little bit slower than me. Or maybe even you're running up towards me and you're down tilting. And I'm jumping over your down tilt and then I'm hitting you after I come down. Right? So the mix-up would be, okay, if I know someone's going to do, let's say, I was saying this or this, you just do a rising aerial, right? If you're fighting against a computer and you try to mix it up and go like this, the first time you try this, I'm just going to go like this and just beat you, which is not possible, right? So I had to make those adjustments, just like you'd have to make those adjustments to me if I was to do that to you.
Okay.
Right?
How do you know what options work and which don't?
Well, I'm glad you
Yeah.
asked. I actually have a video on that. You can go over that video afterwards, but basically I go over the idea of which options beat other options, and it's almost like a ladder
Okay.
system to say like landing aerials beat down tilts, rising aerials beat landing aerials, up tilts beat rising aerials, or dash back into dash attack beats rising aerials. Dash back gets beaten by overextension dash attacks. Full hop aerials is to short hop rising up airs, just stuff like that. And it goes through
Oh,
everything, and it gives you a pretty
okay.
good breakdown.
Okay, yeah, because that's like another thing with like watching the replays. People are always talking about, yeah, you should consider all the options, but I'm like, how do you know what
Yeah,
options beat
what
out
are
the
all
other
the
ones?
yeah,
So,
and I'll admit in
yeah.
some cases it's a lot of trial and error because as
Mm,
much as I'd like to say like a landing area like this always beats a down tilt, it's like, well,
mm,
I wouldn't say it beats it doesn't beat all down tilts. It beats lots of down tilts because a down tilt like this is not the same as a down tilt that has either, let's say, more range or maybe has super armor, or it has, I don't know, a longer lasting hitbox. Maybe the hitbox actually goes up above or something
mm,
like that. So there's lots of things to take into
mm.
consideration. It's more so which hitbox placements beat other hitbox placements.
I see.
If you know that you can come down on top of somebody and their head is going to be widely exposed because I'm doing something like this, then you can go down
Yeah.
and do this, right?
Hmm.
And then you also have moves like up tilts like this. There's some up tilts that touch the ground in front like this, and there's other up tilts that hit
Hmm.
just above. Somebody like Sora, for example, his up tilt is only above him, right? So he has
Hmm.
blind spots on the side. In which case, an up tilt like this would beat somebody who wants to run in and go for a dash grab, but Sora's wouldn't
Hmm.
because he, as the up tilt comes up, you just run and go underneath it and you catch them. That's good fast fall. Oh god, horrible
Oh.
DI. I was trying to fade back with that fair or nair, whatever I did.
Yeah, I saw that.
Recovering high again.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's all good. Oops, okay, I mean to roll like that, but I guess.
Oh no, it's different.
Let's do it.
Ah. Okay, okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta fix the high recovery.
yep. But I also noticed too in that game when we were fighting, for the most part, when you're trying to mix me up, even with just having that in mind, your spacing was a lot better. And also, you weren't pushing
Hmm.
up right onto me, right? There's quite a few times where you
Yeah.
had me at max range, and we kind of weren't hitting each other at all, which is totally fine, right? Just because you
Hmm.
approach and you want to make contact doesn't mean that if you don't make contact, it was a waste of an approach, right? It still gets the opponent to
Mm.
think about, okay, he's jumping in with nair or fair. I'm going to try and counter that in some way. I'm either going to try and jump over top of it or wait for it to end and go for like a pivot cancel forward tilt, or I'm going to run underneath
Hmm.
it and go for an up tilt, right?
Hmm.